Hello there, movie fans. It's me, Teen Rara, back with another video. Once again, I have some newest information on the newest movies that is coming out in the near future. So listen to this awesome sound bites, then I'll give you my opinions and thoughts when it's all said and done. So once again, enjoy this video. Goodbye for now, my viewers.
Welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news with insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Senior Editor John Campia.
That is a mouthful, actually, the way you say it like that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hey, Crystal.
Nice to see you. And special guest today, we had Dan Deavy from TheCinemaSource.com.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
TheCinemaSource.com.
Cinema Source.
My first 5 choices for co-hosts today weren't available. I asked Dan to come.
I was in the men's room anyway. I was here getting ready to see another movie, so,
Away we go.
And they put me in the middle again. Okay, guys, today we're going to get things started with this. Warner Brothers made a big splash a few months ago when it was made known that they were planning on a Justice League movie for 2015 that would feature Superman, Batman, my favorite, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Flash. Then the trouble started. They had complete script but failed to land any of the higher profile directors they were courting. Then came word that they were tossing the script and starting again. Soon after, it was revealed that WB was getting nervous about the project and was going to wait and see how the new Superman movie, Man of Steel, performed. Now there are reports coming out from WB has pretty much abandoned the 2015 date and could be looking as late as 2020 or 2021. Reports claim that Warner Brothers is considering one of two options, depending on how well Man of Steel performs at the box office. If it fails, the studio will put their focus on rebooting Batman. If it's a success, then they will instead focus on turning out 2 more films, rounding the series up to a trilogy. Either way, there seems to be no immediate plans for Justice League. John, assuming the validity of these reports, what do you think about Justice League getting the axe?
Pathetic. I think this is really, really sad, and it just once again shows us that an excellent studio like Warner Brothers, which is an excellent studio, they just fumbled everything when it comes to their DC properties. And it's, look, we're going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. We got a plan. No, we don't have a plan. And look, there are these 2 standing excuses that we hear for there not being a Justice League before they do their individual films. One is, we don't, and I covered this in yesterday's show, but I'll say it again. They're rushing it. If they do a 2015 Justice League, they're rushing it. So maybe it's a good idea that they're not rushing it. 2.5 years is not rushing it at all. Look, I want to remind you guys of something. Joss Whedon, when I sat down and talked to him about this particular movie he was doing, Cabin in the Woods, he mentioned, I went to a hotel one weekend with my co-writer, and we wrote the script for Cabin in the Woods in a weekend. Done. They just started not so long ago shooting Thor that comes out at the end of this year. 2.5 years is not rushing
Damn good movie.
And as John Schnepp pointed out, there's this other little film coming out in 2015 that they haven't started shooting yet called Star Wars Episode 7. So this whole notion that 2015 is rushing it is garbage. You simply don't know what you're talking about if you bring that up. But here's the other objection that I hear from a lot of people. They say, well, you can't do a Justice League movie first. First you have to do Wonder Woman. First you have to do another Green Lantern. First you have to do Flash, just like Marvel did it. My answer to that has been, no, you don't. I love the way Marvel
Yes,
did
you
it,
do.
but I think it would be great if DC and Warner Brothers did it the opposite for themselves. Launch these smaller-known characters in a Justice League movie, and look, lest you forget, yes, Avengers was a huge multi-billion-dollar movie. It made domestically $630 million. But guess what? Thor made about $180 million. Captain America made about $170 million.
Damn good
Last
movie.
Hulk film made about $130 million. That means almost 2 out of every 3 people that went to go see the Avengers hadn't seen Thor, hadn't seen Captain America, hadn't seen the last Hulk, and yet they were able to get through Avengers just fine, just like people would have been able to get through a Justice League movie just fine. I wish they'd just come up with a plan, get some smart people involved, stick with the plan, have some confidence in your properties, and move forward with it. So this news drives me
been mapped for you. Like, just do what they did, and you will have a similar success. So all of this trepidation over it, and growing up, I was a DC kid. I wasn't a Marvel kid. So the idea that, you know, the Flash and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman, that all these people together wouldn't be something people want to see, it's like, are you kidding me? Even if the script is terrible, even if they cast the wrong people, it is still going to make buttloads of money. It just will, because that's how popular these characters are. So I think it has to be a bean counter who is saying, oh, it's too much of a risk, we don't want to risk this amount of money. When you think about how much
because they did take a hit with
risk,
Green Lantern. They did take a hit with Green Lantern.
They
so
did.
You can see where it's coming from.
That one was garbage.
The standalone film.
Yeah.
And to your point, the standalone films don't do as well as the group film does. So, you know, I think it's someone who doesn't want to take the risk that Marvel took, which, look, Marvel sat down and said, all right, we're going to spend all this money to do all of these films, and the Avengers will be in there eventually. They took a huge risk by doing that, and it paid off hugely. Someone at Warner Brothers doesn't have the guts to do the same thing. That's why I think it's this continual back and forth, and it's stupid, because the fans will be there, the audience will be there, and you will make money. So just make the movie.
Agreed.
Put the fear away.
Yes.
All right, as everyone knows by now, Star Wars Episode 7 is coming in 2015, and it's being directed by lost creator and director of the new Star Trek movies, J.J. Abrams. Disney is also planning on releasing standalone Star Wars movies outside of Episodes 7, 8, and 9, which we've speculated a lot about here on the show. Now, filmmaker and fan favorite Kevin Smith waded into the conversation by making this statement. Every old school fan will line up to see a Yoda origin story, or to see David Boreanaz as a young Han Solo, winning the Millennium Falcon from David Glover's baby-faced Lando Calrissian. Yes, I'm calling it here. Dan, obviously we're talking in theoreticals, but what do you think of Smith's suggestion of David Boreanaz as a younger Han Solo?
I think Kevin Smith is a visionary. Can I just say that? I think a man who has a TV show called Comic Book Men knows what he's talking about when he says these things. And before I heard him say that, I didn't have anyone in my head who could be a young Han Solo, who could be Lando, who could. It wasn't clicking for me. As soon as I heard those names and heard that it came from Kevin Smith, genius. I think I would absolutely see that movie. And also, just real quick, I want to say about our pal J.J. Abrams. I think he's the perfect choice to direct Star Wars movies, because when he directed Star Trek, he made it look like Star Wars. So now that he's actually doing Star Wars, it'll be aces. Just saying.
I'm a little bit torn on this, actually. I love David Boreanaz. I really do. I'm one of these guys, I brought it up a little before we started shooting. I'll say it again here. Angel was in every way far superior to Buffy. It was just a better show by far. I know, so send in the hate mail, bring it, I don't care. But I love the dude. I think he's been great in everything I've seen him in. I've even watched a bunch of his show Bones. I mean, I'm not really familiar with it too much, but just because he's there, I've watched it. But here's a big problem with David Boreanaz playing a younger Han Solo. When Harrison Ford played Han Solo in the original Star Wars in 1977, Harrison Ford was 35 years old. David Boreanaz right now is 43. He's already 8 years older than Harrison Ford was when he first shot Star Wars. And now we're talking about a younger Han Solo. How do you do a younger Han Solo with a guy who's already 8 years older than the first time we saw Han Solo? So on that basis alone, because I like it in every other aspect, I can totally see David Boreanaz as a Han Solo if you're doing a reboot. But a younger Han Solo, he'll be 44, 45 by the time they start shooting it. I can't buy him as a younger Han Solo. So for that reason, I just can't get into it. But listen, folks, we come to the part of the show now called Buy or Sell. Basically what happens here is that Chris Lee is going to read off some of the other big movie news items in the world today. And Dan and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So Chris Lee, what do we got?
It was announced last year that Pixar Studios would be producing a sequel to their hit film Finding Nemo. Yesterday came word that Albert Brooks is expected to return to voice Marlin. Andrew Stanton is returning to direct the Disney Pixar film and is co-writing the script with Victoria Strauss. Plot details are currently unavailable, but it was previously reported that Ellen
I'm not really big on Pixar doing sequels per se. I want to see more of their original stuff, but if Andrew Stanton's back, you get the original voice cast back. Let's face it, Finding Nemo was delightful, so I buy it.
Buy it, no question. Buy it and then buy it again. I mean, Finding Nemo is one of those films that your kids or your nieces and nephews make you watch over and over again, and you don't want to stab yourself in the eye with a pencil. So to do that again, awesome. I'm in, definitely.
Okay, Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens is said to be in talks with the role in the upcoming thriller A Walk Among the Tombstones, alongside Liam Neeson. The synopsis for the film reads like this. Formerly a cop with the NYPD, now an unlicensed private eye and a recovering alcoholic haunted by past mistakes, Neeson stars as Matt Scudder, who is hired to find the kidnapped wife of a drug dealer. He operates just outside the law, where the police don't go track down the kidnappers, who he discovers have been involved in multiple kidnappings and brutal murders. Dan, buy or sell Dan Stevens' ability to make a Hollywood film career out of his Downton Abbey success?
I heard the words Liam Neeson, cop, and operates outside of the law. I buy that. Thank you.
I'm going to sell this. And unfortunately, here's the reality of the situation. Big TV stars, unless your name is Tom Hanks or George Clooney, for every one of those guys, TV stars that make the transition to movies, there are 100 David Schwimmers, Lisa Kudrows, Matt LeBlancs, the whole cast of Friends, Kevin Sorbo from Hercules, which was the biggest show in the world, David Hasselhoff from Baywatch, which was also the biggest show in the world. Big TV stars traditionally have a very, very, very difficult time transitioning to movie success. I mean, out of the Friends cast, what do you got? Jennifer Aniston, who's never had a big movie and never had real big success. She's just got a lot of roles, but that's about it. So for that reason alone, even though I think he's a very talented dude, I'm going to sell him.
Okay, the upcoming X-Men film, X-Men Days of Future Past, director Bryan Singer, who also directed the first two X-Men movies, was asked recently if one of his X-Men 2 characters, Nightcrawler, played by Alan Cumming, could return for the new film. Singer stated, "Sometimes you don't want to say yes or no to something that may not be a yes or no, or anything. I haven't decided yet on a few things. I'm still, there are certain aspects of the script I'm still toying with. John, buy or sell the idea of Nightcrawler in Days of Future Past?"
I'm going to sell this. Don't get me wrong, I love Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler in X-Men 2, I really do. But at this point in the game, just adding another character carries with it a lot of consequences, because Nightcrawler is a very visual effects heavy character. There's a lot of different things you have to work around. There's already a whole bunch of characters in this movie that they're cramming in. So for that reason, I sell it.
I buy it because the things that made X-Men 2 so much better than X-Men 3 were the director and a lot of the cast members. And I think bringing back Bryan as the director is going to return the heart and soul into the X-Men, as was proven with X-Men First Class. And Alan Cumming coming back on board, I think that's another really talented actor playing a really great character, directed by a fantastic guy. So I buy it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about that awesome news? What do you say in the upcoming movies and other stuff? Now, from my point of view, I really love all the X-Men movies, and even the First Class. What do they say about the this movie? Awesome. Too bad about the Justice League. That's freaking bullcrap. But hopefully they get their act together. That's all I'm gonna say. I am trying to do a little better. I know a lot of people didn't like the first one, but everyone has their own opinion. Check on my cat. She's taking a siesta. What kind of movies you like to see in the future? I'm definitely looking forward to see the Superman movie this summer. Other ones I can't really think of. Like, I'm definitely going to see a G.I. Joe number 2. That's about it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I see you guys next time. From the champ is out of here. From Team Rai is out of here also. I actually scratch out. Team Rai is out of here. From the champ is adios. Thanks for watching, and please hit the sub button and follow me at Twitter down below. Deuces. Bye bye.